Hey everyone, how's it going? I decided to make another video. A lot's been going on. I've been moving around, but now that I'm finally settled, um, I've been getting back into collecting comics a lot. So I figured I would talk about this comic that I picked up. It's the entire collection of Alien versus Avengers. Aliens versus Avengers. And this is Hickman, Ribbit, and Forcina. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. It's very fascinating. Not what I expected at all, but it has some beautiful, beautiful illustrations. And I'm not going to read the whole thing verbatim. I'm just going to show you some of the imagery and tell you what I thought of it. So I picked this up when I was moving, for reading material on the road, which is where I ended up reading it. And it really made the time fly, which was unexpected because traveling is not really my cup of tea. Even though I've done quite a bit of it in my life, I hate traveling. I find it hard to sleep. I find it hard to pass the time. Hours seem like days. But anyway, I'm ranting. This whole this whole thing starts out with the engineers. And if you're an Alien fan, if you've watched the franchise at all, you'll know that they're responsible for creating the xenomorphs. And if I'm not mistaken, in Prometheus, aren't they kind of responsible for creating all life? I could be wrong about that. But here they are, and they're experimenting on different species in the galaxy. This guy right here is a Kree, and they're trying to see which species make the best hosts for xenomorphs. And their plan, which is revealed towards the end, is that they basically want to destroy all of life. So they want to find the best species for xenomorph hosts and start sending out xenomorphs across space to the most inhabited planets, which includes Earth. But as you see here, someone's coming to foil their plans, and that someone is none other but Black Panther himself with his Wakandan spaceships. And they arrive at this station, and Black Panther is there with his son. Black Panther is old now, but they arrive there at the station, and they immediately seek out the xenomorphs, which you see here. I'm sorry about my webcam's light. It's the best I could do, though. And one of the things they mention is that time on this station, or wherever they are, flows differently than it does on Earth. So it's kind of like in Interstellar. The time they spend on this station, if they spend like 20 minutes here, it'll be like 20 years on Earth or something like that. It's probably not that dramatic, but it's pretty dramatic. And later on in the comic book, you'll see that, Earth really could have used them, but they spent too much time there. Anyways, they go after the xenomorphs. And this is T'Challa's son, I think. I don't remember his name. And he has some kind of device that just zaps them. Psh, gone. So they search around the spaceship or space station or what have you. They find the engineers. The engineers kind of laugh in their face a bit. And here's T'Challa without his mask. He's aged, He has white hair. And he ends up chopping off the head of the engineer. But not before they find out that the engineers have already sent their xenomorph army out, and that one of the destinations is Earth. And so it kind of shows the invasion here. And what they've done is they sent out these pods that each have, I believe, let me see, let me read. Where does it say? Where does it say? Maybe it's on the previous page. Here it is. Over here. Each seed probe carries 4 queen eggs inside it, along with 12 infected hosts in suspended animation. So there's 12 hosts in there who are going to have xenomorphs burst out of them. And on top of that, there are 4 queen eggs. And this is what they send to basically take over an entire planet, which happens in a matter of days. It's that rapid. Because the xenomorphs only take about a day to fully form, and the queens take about 4 days to start doing their thing. And before you know it, not only do you have a herd, you have an army, an unstoppable one. And it shows them here attacking the Earth all over. They even attack Attilan, where Black Bolt and the Inhumans are. Which the comic says probably would not have fallen if it weren't for inner turmoil. So I think someone switched off the defenses and let the xenomorphs in, because you can see this guy over here. He's just looking at that shield, struggling, doesn't know how to get in. And then next panel, boom, he's in. Now, I don't know how these things survive Black Bolt just speaking and blowing them all to shit, but they do somehow. Or maybe they don't. The comic book doesn't really focus on Attilan much. This is a neat little panel here of Apocalypse. And he's just, he loves it. Apocalypse loves battle, so this is his jam. And that's him fighting off some xenomorphs. He's probably gonna die, I don't know. And now we go to our dystopian future Earth. And this is an old Tony Stark, believe it or not. And that right there is an old Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. And that is old Bruce Banner. There he is. So all the Avengers, the ones that are still left living, everyone is really old. And this is the last city on Earth, that the last sort of fortress that they have that hasn't been overrun by the xenomorphs. And it's being protected by the superheroes. And what happens is Reed Richards' daughter, Valeria, has decided to go out into the field on her own to find a xenomorph or an egg or something like that, so that she can study it and find its weakness so that they can destroy all the aliens. And Hulk, she sneaks out to do this, and Hulk finds out, Banner finds out, Miles Morales, and he leaps out of the city to go find her and help her. And here she is, being saved by Miles and Hulk. I'm really sorry about the lighting here. It's kind of hard to... It's kind of hard with this camera. It has a built-in light. And that's Valeria, all grown up. You can tell even she looks middle-aged. I mean, the rest of them are old men and women. And here's Valeria, you know, trying to sort of figure out how to destroy them. and they're just in general talking about what they're going to do in the future. But Tony Stark has a plan. He's not going to let the human race disappear. He's not leaving it up to chance. Valeria ends up screwing up. The xenomorph gets out of the egg and kills her. And she's locked herself in her research lab and tells the Avengers not to go in, tells Bruce not to go in, because she knows she's not going to make it. But of course Hulk does not listen. Hulk goes in, tears up the xenomorph, and then you can see here the battle. But a face hugger gets to Miles, and this is a really cool part. So face hugger jumps on Miles' face. You see right there? And you're thinking to yourself, oh no, that's it. Like once a face hugger gets on you, it's over. But what we have not been told up to this point is that Miles actually has the symbiote, the Venom symbiote, and the symbiote absorbs the face hugger and then reattaches itself to Miles, and Miles becomes kind of a Venom / alien type hero situation. I don't know. It's not really well explained, but it looks cool. But I don't understand the ramifications of what has just happened here. They're not really fully fleshed out in the comic either. But it's cool. It's neat. And that was the first issue. And let's see, what are we at here? Let's go into issue number 2. This is just more stuff with the engineers. Talking about how, disappointed they are in life that they created and a bunch of pretentious stuff like that. And they have a conversation here with Tony. I forget really what they talk about, but Tony kind of understands what's going on and he tricks them, gets information. And Tony's plan is that he's created this building that's also a ship, and when things get foobar on Earth beyond fixing, he's going to take what he can of humanity in this building that's also now a spaceship, and they're just going to go repopulate another planet. So that's the plan. Here's some more panels of Miles. Old Miles, you can tell, middle-aged, right? Kind of like maybe a little older than Valeria. Maybe he's in his 50s. And he's got this new symbiote suit, and he's talking to Venom. Venom talks. It's a really kind of sad comic book to read. It's seeing all the superheroes just old, and you're going to see a lot of them die off too. A lot of them die off. It doesn't really have a happy ending. And in that way, like tonally, it's very kind of close to the Alien movies. It's more an Alien comic in tone than it is a superhero comic. Everything's very grim. The aliens now attack the last city on Earth, and Iron Man launches his war machines, which I believe are just drones. They're not, they're just remote sort of suits of armor. But the war machines can't do much. And here he is. It's old Steve Rogers. And at this point, Tony's ready to launch the building, right? So that everyone can leave. And then he sees Steve run out with a few more survivors. But he's like, damn it, Steve, you're late. I mean, we gotta go. We don't have time. He can't allow the ship to be breached. And so Steve kind of makes his final sacrifice here. The Xenomorph army's closing in. And, He tells everyone to keep running. I don't think, but none of the other survivors make it. But he tells them to keep running, and he'll do what he can do. I really like this look of for Captain America, just old man Captain America, but he's still buff. Look at that dude. Looks like a lumberjack. And he throws his shield, and boom, you get it hitting like 3, 4 different aliens and a rock, and right back into his hands. I like this. This sequence is really cool. Unfortunately, it's pretty much all we get for Captain America, even though he's clearly front and center on the cover. But that's all we get. So yeah, Cap is buying them time, and then Hulk realizes that, he's lived his life. Valeria's dead. He's lost his purpose. He's old enough. He's gonna go help Cap to buy more time for Tony and the rest to leave. So there's Hulk. Boom, lands, and Hulk and Captain America make their last stand while the ship flies off. Now the cool thing is that anyway, they make it into space. This is them in space, and I think this is pretty much the end of the second chapter. Yeah, I'm gonna leave the rest of the book. We still have the other half to go through for the next video. If you guys like this at all, I don't know. I know it's not a big budget production. I'm using a crappy webcam, not a DSLR or anything cool like that. You can even see the light here. But I just felt like making one of these because I've really been getting into comics, as I said, and I'm starting to fill up my library. And I was just thinking to myself one night, I got all these comic books, and I'm spending, I'm spending a pretty penny on them. They're not collector's items, but they're tomes and they're complete stories, and it's just, I love holding a comic book and just looking at the images. Obviously I read the story, but just looking at the illustrations and the art, and having it physically in your hands, and knowing how many pages are left. And when I get to a place where, spoiler alert, Mr. Sinister's in it, when I get to a spot, I put like a little bookmark, and I look at my progress, and I don't know, it's just very physically satisfying to me. So instead of just buying them online or using a Kindle or something, I'm buying physical copies, and I have more on the way, and I already have about 7 or 8 of these. So let me know if you like this, and we can go over part 2 maybe. And yeah, the interesting thing is, sometime this summer, I don't remember when, they are going to release a prequel. I think it's a prequel, or it might just be its own thing, but it's going to be Aliens versus Captain America, only Captain America, and it's going to be in the 40s, during World War II. So that's going to be interesting. I think Red Skull's going to be involved, and that'll be fun. Anyway, that's it for this first video. Just figured I'd try it out. I hope you guys are doing great. I hope you have a great summer. If you guys end up liking this video and commenting and showing me some love, then I think I could definitely keep making this a series, keep ordering more comic books, and just very loosely going over the plot and showing you the panels and the artwork and what I think about it, and that'll be that. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Night.